Okay, it is 10:01 a.m. and I had just one trade with ILUS. And before the market opened, my idea with ILUS is that we were going to have a drop at the market open and it would ideally be a higher low off of here. And I was thinking that it would drop around the 10.2 level. I didn't necessarily think it would drop under 10, but it did. We had this little drop right here. And I was interested in buying it, but unfortunately, ILUS started to trade with a spread. And whenever a stock trades with a spread, it makes me think that, it's a little weak or it's just a little too sketchy for me to consider it. So I never gave it any money here. I never bought it. And it did do a turnaround. It did struggle to get to this 10.2 level, but it eventually broke the 10.2 level. Let me refresh the VWAP. Why? So it doesn't look very spiky looking. This thing did work out in theory, but I just didn't like how it had that spread. And then I did take into consideration another setup. I've seen it happen where this could have been like a morning panic bounce play in theory from the 10.7 as low as this 96 level. And then it uptrends and it starts to trade a new range that is higher than the low. And then normally VWAP is above this line, but in this case, it's already above it. And the idea was is that it could break past the channel on the upside and be a nice setup to be a part of. And that's why I bought 3,500 shares at 9.45 and that was at 10.2. So I bought 3,500 shares at this point right here. And I was going to get out of it if it was going to break under the 10.1 level, under this VWAP level, because I like how it started to have this channel and then it started to get to the point where the bottom of the channel was now at this 10.1 level, which was also VWAP. So I was thinking that if it was going to break back under it, it could be very bearish, especially if it just drops right at that round number of 10 cents and it can break below that and it can continue to panic some more. But that didn't happen. It did uptrend. And I'll be honest, I got out of this one pretty quickly. I could have sold for better, but I just don't like the way it jumped on air. I sold 1,000 shares at 9.47 and it wasn't at 10.2. It was like 10.19 and a half. So just a little bit less than what I bought at 9.47. And I got out because the price action was starting to look kind of weird. Right here, I just thought it was maybe taking too long for it to work. So I wanted to cut some of my risk out of the trade so that if it does fail, at least I don't have like my full position and I'm going to be cutting losses, especially if it starts to downtrend like crazy. We did have like a big volume sell off right here, and I like how it never broke below that 10 level, so that was ideal. And then when it did uptrend and everything, I did sell 2,500 shares at 9.49, which was right here at 10.44. I sold right here when it just shut up on air. I would have liked it maybe if it just maybe quickly got up there, but the way it just jumped on air, I never really liked that. But it did get much higher. It got as high as a 10.7, so that's pretty cool. And at this point, I don't have much of an interest in trading it. DRFS was interesting. I was watching this, but I mean, if the stock is going to trade with a spread, I feel like less people are going to be interested in putting their money into it. This one could have been something that I could have taken at 28, but I mean, when I was really, really interested in considering a buy, I just jumped on air, and 31 was now the bid, and then it was as high as 35. The ask was 35, so I didn't like that, and then it downtrended back to the 30 level, and sure, it got a bit higher, but I just stopped really looking at it because it just started to trade ugly with a spread, so that wasn't too ideal. No interest with this one, no interest with this one, and no interest with this one. I don't see anything that I necessarily want to trade right now, and I will make an update later. Okay, it is 10:21 p.m. and I am here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be up on the day $5.95, and that was with that one setup ILUS right here when it was looking like it was trying to be a higher low off of the bottom and break past this range. And I did sell a portion before it did because it was taking a bit longer than what I thought it would take. And then I sold the rest rather quickly at 10:44 when it just jumped on air. It did get higher to 10.74, and then at that point I stopped looking at the markets as much as I did previously, and it did drop and hold VWAP and uptrend later, and then it did break the day high right here at 10.7, and then it made a move from that 10.7 level to 11.4. So that was another setup. And then I guess as the day goes on by, you can have more, something that I've been thinking about doing, more lazy trend lines, maybe not so pointy like in the very beginning as the, you know, a market open just gets further away, so it's less volatile. But this was also like a new setup, or even if you wanted to base the trend line off of this point right here, perhaps. And then that was a nice setup to hold into. And yeah, I did miss out on that. But this would have been something that I would have had to have held for a longer period of time, not like a quick day trade breakout setup or a quick dip buy, but that was pretty cool. I had no interest with this one, no interest with this one, and this one's starting to downtrend a little. If it can offer like a very clean and big morning panic bounce play, that will be pretty cool. I will be watching this now since it has broken the level right here. If maybe it drops and it gets near this 11.5 level and it holds, that could be like a dip or rip setup for the next day. I'll just be watching it tomorrow to see what kind of setups could happen. These two were uptrending, nothing really nice looking because the volume isn't quite there, but I'll be continuously watching it. That's all I have for today. Just that one trade with ILUS and potential to have been much more profitable trading a longer term setup once it broke the day high.